homies? Welcome back to a brand new video. So today's topic is going to be about Shindo Life, aka the formerly known as Shinobi Life 2. If you don't know, if you've been living under a rock and don't know what happened, pretty much Shinobi Life 2 had to get reworked and everything and revamped because they got striked by Viz. And with that revamp, certain things happened that, a lot of the old players or the people that played Shinobi Life 2 haven't really gotten on for Shindo Life because they don't get the same Naruto-like vibes that got them to start playing. And honestly, that's not really anyone's fault. It's just like things happen and, one thing led to another and they got copy striked and, they had to make sure that they could keep their game going. And honestly, like, even after all of they're not exactly going like a whole Naruto style where they can't exactly keep the Naruto names like Hozuki, like Sage of Six Path and all that. They can't Tailed Spirits and everything. But they've done a good job at, keeping up updates. They didn't give up and they still kept going and everything. And like that's commendable. That's actually very respectable. Like they're hardworking dev and they deserve the things they've worked for, right? But it still reached a point where people just didn't play. They've lost a massive we can all agree like Shinobi Life 2, even on a weekday, it would casually have like 90k players, even though the decrease was only like 20 to like 30k players like at most on a weekday. It still was like kind of sad seeing it go down because it is a very nice game and everything. But like now like with the past few updates, bro, with the past few updates we've been seeing a lot of things that they're working on that might bring back some of the feelings they got from like Naruto. If you've ever played any of their old Naruto games, or if you ever really played only their Naruto games, you remember NSOA or the first Ninja OA, if that was like your first game, which is typically what most people started with, or Gaiden OA or any of those, like you would know like they're good at making Naruto games. That's like their staple and everything, right? But with the whole copy strike, they really weren't able to do that. But with these past few updates, especially last week and the one coming this week, we can definitely say that the game has a very promising future and it's probably going to spike up in players because like they're actually one of the major things that kind of got like messed over was the whole tailed beast idea. Like they changed it to tailed spirits, and the tailed spirits, there's just been a lot of memes that people didn't really like the model. So like it's not really the developer's fault because again they tried their best with like the game and keeping it open and like trying to give you guys something to play, but people just didn't like the tailed spirits. Like people, I like in arena PvP, like in competitive mode, I would rarely see anyone really use the tailed spirits because like there's like, yeah, it's so ugly, I don't like how it looks, and like it just spiraled down to like minor things. But with this new update, especially the last one where they added the Sage of Six Path, I'll post a picture somewhere, they added a bunch of cool things, and like now we can finally say with certainty that their version of the tailed beasts are finally coming, right? So last week we got this sneak peek of something that they were working on for Shukaku, right? We can all know that Shukaku and everything, it looks pretty similar to Shukaku, but and like it's clean, it still gives you that old nostalgia. The only thing is like it looks like something smashed down Shukaku's head a little bit, but still like they had to make it in a way that they kept it original. Because I feel like when people think of original, they're like, oh, this is a very brand new idea never thought of before. It's like saying, oh, a remix isn't really original since they copied the flow and the beat, but the words were theirs. Like the term original is very like complicated. Like yeah, there were some memes about them making a banana tailed spirit and everything. But yeah, like we've gotten like good quality updates, especially with like the Sage of Six Path. Like look at these are clean as hell. But now, especially for the past 2 days, so Wednesday and Thursday, they've leaked this, which I'm pretty sure that's like Shukaku. It has to be because of like the color scheme and the what's it called, the little cracks. It looks like the this one sort of. But now, first they leaked this picture, which was this is obviously the Seven Tails, because they said, oh, what's it called, Where is it? It says that it's a bat and centipede. We can already see like this is the outline of like a centipede with wings and everything. So that's clean. So like I'm very looking forward like what's the full detail on it, and that's going to be like perfect. Like I feel like it's going to be very like interesting, especially since they're setting the colors now. So we're not going to see like as much as I liked having my own color. I still feel like it defeated the purpose of like certain tail beasts, like tail spirits, like originality. Well, it did give chance to like others' originality. I still feel like the tail beasts having set colors for their chocolate cloaks is better in my opinion, and everything. And then and then they posted this picture, right? This picture is interesting because if we're going to cross-reference it with this tweet and this tweet, right? So even though it's blurred out, we can tell that Shukaku, aka the first tailed spirit, I don't know what name they use for the tailed spirits. We can tell that it's going to be somewhat similar. The one tails, the two tails, the five tails, and like they're keeping that same sort of concept for them while changing it too, because like, oh, what's it called, Shukaku was sort of a raccoon looking, but they added an owl to it. And then what's it called the five tails was more of a horse. They made it into a form of Pegasus and elk. So that's going to be very clean looking, and I can't wait for their video that explains all of it. But the one thing that I can tell like has changed in color pathway and everything is going to be the three tails, the six tails, and the nine tails. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No. We haven't seen the nine tails. We only see eight. So the eight tails became a little bit darker shade of purple than the original light. We can see that from, even though it's blurred, we can see that the eight tails is kind of like, a little bit shade of darker. And I can't wait. And like, because he said, oh, that I feel like the eight tails is going to be more beast-like instead of like being an octopus. I don't know why, but I just have that feeling. And like also we saw what's called a sneak of the two tails back looking. Again, I feel like it's going to be very similar looking to what's it called Matatabi, but while also being very different. Like the color scheme, it seems like this is a little bit lighter blue than Matatabi was, which was a darker blue. But either ways, it's going to look clean, right? And then the biggest thing that this, right? We got a sneak peek for this. We can already tell by the number of tails that this is the nine tails. Whoa. Hold on. Did I make a mistake? Yeah. It looks like the nine tails, but it only has eight tails. But I'm most likely sure this is the nine tails. Only reason I'm saying that is because those look like fox tails, specifically a kitsune from, Japanese mythology and everything. Like you can tell, like, again, kitsune or aka a fox. This has to be, like the nine tails. So we can tell that it's still going to be a fox, but more based off, the Japanese mythical version of it than rather than Naruto. While the Naruto version is still based off, the Japanese, like the mythical version of the Japanese one, but like the Japanese one was sort of different. But we haven't seen the full design yet. But this is what I'm speculating. I'm speculating that it's going to be looking like a fox, if anything, right? And they're also talking about the ten tails. Like the ten tails is going to have its own different looking what's it called, its own beast. So like meaning that we're finally getting a stage 2 for the ten tails, the 10th or the 10 spirit, if you would like to say. So that's something else we can look for. So all these updates, right, they're finally making things in a way that while they're keeping their originality, they're pushing themselves forward with new ideas and everything. They're also able to bring back the old player base from that they lost because it wasn't Naruto. It wasn't exactly Naruto anymore. It was just sort of in between. So like I feel like this update is going to be the start of a new era for Shindo Life, and it's gonna bring in a new wave of players, way more cleaner models, and like, things that they'll be incorporating even more ideas from, the show into their game, that, even though there won't be exactly the same, it'll still be similar enough to where, we can have, our fun. Because again, where we all know that, like, as a kid, if you weren't a kid that, did that Naruto run, then did you even have a childhood? But yeah, guys, this was pretty much the video that I talked about leaks. I hope that you guys enjoyed it and that it was informational, because I know some of you guys don't have Twitter, and that was the main reason I made this video. So yeah, I hope that it was informational, and that I'll see you guys later.